Welcome to another episode of Let's Find Out. Harry Houdini. As mysterious as his life was, the circumstances of his death were even more so. But did the mystery end with his death? Did you know about Harry Houdini's strong belief and later stronger disbelief in spiritualism? His close association, unlikely friendship and eventual fallout with Sir Arthur Conan Doyle? Did you know that even today visitors are banned from visiting Houdini's grave on Halloween, a day on which he died? Let's find out. Once upon a time, there was a young boy named Harry, who had a natural talent for acrobatics. Born on March 24, 1874 in Budapest, Hungary, he moved to the USA with his family at an early age. At the age of 9, he joined the circus as a trapeze artist and called himself Eric, the Prince of the Air. However, Harry soon adopted the name of his idol, French magician Robert Houdin, to call himself Harry Houdini. When Harry met Bess, they realized their religious differences. Bess being a devout Catholic, and Harry, an ardent Jew, fell in love, got married, and started working together. Their first famous trick was called the metamorphosis, which involved Houdini being tied up in a sack and locked in a trunk. Only moments later, Harry would emerge outside the trunk while Bess locked inside. Houdini was also famous for his spectacular water escapes, including the milk can escape where he was locked in a galvanized milk can filled with water. He even created a new trick called the double-fold death-defying water mystery, where the can was locked inside a heavy wooden chest. These acts were advertised as failure means a drowning death in newspapers and were immensely sensational. One of his most famous stunts was the prison break. Houdini would allow himself to be handcuffed and locked securely in a cell, only to reappear free within minutes, even in high-security prisons. He was also known for his outdoor escape acts, such as the bridge jumps, where he would jump from a bridge into a river or ocean while handcuffed and free himself while underwater. In 1904, the London Daily Mirror newspaper challenged Houdini to escape from special handcuffs that had taken Nathaniel Hart, a locksmith from Birmingham, 5 years to make. Houdini accepted the challenge and emerged free within an hour. On September 21, 1912, at Circus Busch in Berlin, Germany, Houdini performed the Chinese water torture cell for the first time, in which he was suspended upside down and lowered into a glass tank filled with water, and had to escape before drowning. Despite the danger, Houdini always managed to escape, to the delight of his fans. This was about Harry's glorious life as the legendary magician and escape artist who remains unparalleled even today. But what were the circumstances of his mysterious death? Let's find out. Harry Houdini was also very interested in the occult, specifically in debunking mediums and psychics. His training in magic and escape tricks helped him expose frauds, a responsibility he took very seriously. Spiritualism is a religious idea which believes that it is possible to communicate with the dead. Initially, Houdini was a believer of this idea. But later, as time went by, he started discovering the fallacy and fraudulent nature of the so-called psychics and mediums. The dishonesty and unethicality of this practice made him declare an all-out crusade against this cult. He even testified before Congress in support of a legislation to criminalize any kind of fortune-telling. It was during this time Harry Houdini came in contact with Sir Arthur Conan Doyle. Sir Arthur Conan Doyle was a medical doctor by profession. It is a little difficult to view Conan Doyle as a believer in spiritualism, given he is also the creator of the most rational, logical and empirical detective of all times, Sherlock Holmes. But his son, Kingsley, died in 1918. Having survived World War I, Kingsley contracted the Spanish flu and developed pneumonia. He passed away in October of 1918 at a hospital in London, having left the army in May that year. His father was hit hard by his death. He married his second wife Jean in 1907, who claimed to be a medium. The shared interest in the afterlife brought Houdini and Doyle closer. In the writer's company, Houdini pretended to be more open to spiritualism than he truly was. During a séance, Jean scribbled out a 5-page message supposedly from Houdini's dearly departed mother. After the session, Houdini was more sure than ever that Jean was not a true medium. But why? Well, he argued that his Jewish mother, the wife of a rabbi, would never have drawn across atop each page of a message to her son. This resulted in the fallout between the two friends. It was a difficult time. The conflict between science and faith was raging worldwide. But Harry Houdini stood his ground firmly regarding exposing the true nature of the spiritualist community. Naturally, this did not sit well with the spiritualists. It seems they were after his life after all. In 1926, Harry Houdini gave a lecture at McGill University. Just a few days later he invited some McGill students to visit him in his dressing room at the Princess Theatre. The magician was resting on a couch while the group chatted. At some point, a student named J. Gordon Whitehead approached him. He asked if it was true that he could resist hard punches to his abdomen, a claim the magician had supposedly made in public. Suddenly and abruptly, Whitehead delivered 4 to 5 terribly forcible, deliberate, well-directed blows to his stomach. Houdini was still reclined on the couch and had no time to prepare for the punches. Though he initially brushed off the discomfort and pain for a few days, it gradually began to increase until he had to be operated on in the Detroit hospital. Doctors successfully removed his appendix, which was found to have ruptured several days earlier, but it had already poisoned his insides. Harry Houdini breathed his last on 31st October, 1926. Coincidentally a Halloween. Could Houdini's meddling and debunking the fraud spiritualists have gotten him killed? It was very much possible. It is to be noted that no autopsy was ever performed to confirm that Houdini's death was actually caused by appendicitis. There is no doubt that the circumstances of Houdini's death are in no way less mysterious than that of his life. But is this the end of the story of Harry Houdini? He was the most successful escape artist of all times. But could he escape death? Well, if anyone could return from the other side, it certainly would have been Houdini. Houdini and Bess even promised each other that whoever died first would try to contact the other from the other side. They devised a secret message, a code phrase, that would be used. After Houdini died in 1926, Bess began the tradition of holding a séance on his death anniversary. To see whether Houdini, the man no jail could hold, could indeed escape from death. In 1936, she held the final séance. 10 years was enough, and Bess admitted that she had never received the message from Houdini. But it was not enough for fans and fellow magicians. Ever since, they have made the séance a Halloween tradition. But as of today, the great Houdini's ghost has not yet spoken. Do you think it is ironical that Harry Houdini's fans are trying to celebrate his memory with a séance when he himself was so against it? Tell us in the comments below. And if you liked today's video, please give a thumbs up and share it with your friends. Also, don't forget to hit the subscribe button to stay updated about our latest contents. Thanks for watching.